And welcome back to Daily Update, my 1000 Day Challenge. This is day 398. So let's get started. All right, so first and foremost, you see the balance is up purely for the experimental trade setup. So that's the bounce up that I get from Ethereum and Link. So right now, I closed all the trade for my experimental trade setup is totally on blank state because we've actually broke up the higher high. All the targets has been hit. I'm just waiting for some kind of pullback and some sort of support being established before re-entering long setup in that sense. On the other hand, for main trading setup, I've been in a long setup for quite some time. So now they're technically in profit itself. I'm just trading stop loss based on my approach that I've set in terms of my trading plan itself. All right, otherwise, if you look in terms of the market structure update itself, it still remains the no change for the US market. Things looks to be strong, although technically they look to be strong, but if you look in terms of price action wide, we do look to be a little bit overextended. So some sort of quick retracement here and there will actually be a very healthy sign. And even if we have an extended consolidation period, even say until the end of this year itself, maintaining near the 4,000, 4,000, say 2 to 4,005 region itself will in fact be a very healthy sign, giving time for these 200-day simple moving average to catch up, and more importantly, even on the weekly and monthly chart to catch up itself. So nothing to be much of a concern about. And yep, similarly, you see same thing for Nasdaq. So for ASHR, things are looking great. As you can see over here, we have been maintaining support above the 20 exponential moving average for potentially the second day itself. Yesterday, we break above and stay above it, and now we are staying near that. So definitely a very good potential sign that we do consolidate for a couple more days, and we break above this downslope trend line along with these 50 and 250 simple moving average and 200-day exponential moving average itself. It could very much potentially be a shift in terms of momentum from the downside to the upward side of things itself. All right, and KWEB similarly, you get a very strong bounce. So the key thing now is to see whether we will get rejected off the 50 simple moving average, because we'll be rejected once and twice recently over here. So yeah, it'll be very interesting. So the first time we hit it, definitely we were rejected. Second time, more sellers step in. But right now, will there be any more sellers as aggressively selling it further, even though price is already at quite a low itself? So I do see a potentially consolidate over here. There'll be a good sign for potential shift in terms of momentum just as well. All right, and finally for Bitcoin itself. So even though we have technically break towards the upside down, this downslope trend on the 4-hour chart. So technically you could have entered on this itself. So you can see right now we are facing some sort of rejection, because ultimately this is the swing high region itself, which is at the 50.4K region itself. It seems that we are not going to pass on the second try, which is still a very healthy try. So generally, I would think that it will be the third or even the fourth try before we break over this region itself, even if we were to be bullish itself. So no issue in terms of a mid to long term kind of a view in terms of say 2 to 4 weeks, and significantly historically speaking. So Bitcoin generally historically does not do that well in the month of September itself. So not to say that we cannot climb up to higher high, but even if we do have some sort of retracement and pullback, even towards this 42 and 43K region itself, I would still say it's technically healthy, especially if you look in terms of the daily chart itself, because we are the 200-day exponential moving average over here as well. So in addition to the simple day moving average over here, we also have some sort of technical support over here itself. And the reason why I draw here is because potentially this will still continue to trend towards the upside while we potentially trend towards the downside. That being said, not to say that we cannot go all the way up. So in terms of price action wise, this is what I would have done. And the only reason why I didn't enter is because I already have my maximum risk management incurred in terms of my main trading account setup. So that's very important for me when criteria are met and I already max out my risk management. I wouldn't add in more position for Bitcoin simply because I already have sufficient risk exposure to it. All right, so otherwise I would have entered after this close, will be slightly higher. But stop loss wise, I'll also be moving slightly higher over here. So target wise still remains very much near the first target wise, still remains very much near the 52.5K region itself. But like what I mentioned over here in the Excel itself, if we do close below the 20 exponential moving average itself on the 4-hourly chart, which is somewhere along here, then technically I'll close this trade even with a small loss itself, or say maybe 30 to even 50% loss instead of the full position itself. Reason being is very simple. Even though it means that the support isn't being found over here, and otherwise the bullish side would perhaps be a low volume retest over here, and then we could continue towards the upside for a third or even a fourth retest before we successfully break over, say maybe end of next week, or even on the 14th, which is like another 2 weeks ahead. So yep, with that said, I've come to the end of today. If you guys have any questions, feel free to drop by your comments below. Otherwise, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.